There's something happening here. What is the song that we can hear? It's coming from an idol of stone. What's causing it is unknown. I think it's time to stop, Quinch. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. The song it fades away as do the suckers from this town. At least we left without another house being burnt down. We camp under the starry sky. I feel the focus of an eye. Adventure continues.
You just get a sense of being watched, but you're out in the open. You are. There's very few. I mean, there's a few trees here and there. There's it's by no means a large forest or anything like that. But there's definitely vegetation and flora and fauna and things like that around. But you can't necessarily see anything around, but you just get that, and you look around. There's no one there, but you just get an odd sense that you're being watched. There's something's observing you.
This is the roving road, isn't it? I'll tell the others about this feeling that I can get, and just say to them, like, do you think maybe we should get off the beaten track, or should we just keep roving?
A Quinch looks up into the sky just to see, and he's hoping that. No, I'm not.
Sorry, just for the sake of the listeners, Stuart has basically put his head in his hands after making that joke.
Yeah, it's not good.
Stuart's had a long weekend, and I think it's all catching up with him.
Quinch looks into the skies. He's pretty sure this is the reintroduction of Mippage.
Oh, sorry, you're serious. You look up and you see a pigeon.
Oh, is it?
And it carries on flying.
Oh.
It was Mippage.
Oh, fuck's sake, no. Oh, this is very concerning. Or something.
Something.
Samsung. Lovely phones. Yeah, so you get that sense, but as I say, you can't really see anything. What do you want to do? Carry on and...
Yeah, we'll keep on the road, on the main road. If we haven't seen anyone, or we could just think that, the weasel's being a bit weird, a bit on edge. Maybe the mushrooms are still in the system. Who knows?
Well.
Yes, Quinch.
Well, I used to have a gem called, listeners will remember it from the cave, I used to have a gem called Danger Sense. It was a red gem. But unfortunately, mechanically, what it does in the game doesn't really work. The name sort of would work against being watched by someone, but the actual mechanics of what it does is doesn't quite align. And also, I'm not sure I still have one. Certainly, I used up that one. I don't remember if I still got a red one.
Lovely.
Cool story, bro.
Excellent hustle there, MJ. Well done.
Yeah.
Listeners will remember this item that has no relevance right now that I don't have anymore. Yeah? Is that the long and the short of it?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Okay. You carry on travelling in the road then? I think that's the sense that we're going to carry on the road. You're not changing your travel plans?
I mean, I don't foresee any reason, imminently.
Can we do a perception check to see if we see anyone?
Yeah, the rest of you feel free to... I didn't make Dweezil roll just simply because he'd had that feeling before, but the rest of you can...
He did alert us to there being... Like he said about getting off the road, but okay.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is Dweezil's the one that felt it last time. So it's that same feeling he's had before. Are you laughing at the fact that you felt it last time?
Yeah.
Of course you are. The rest of you didn't have that before, so you're basically trying to see if you get that same thing. So yeah, if you give me a perception roll.
While they're rolling dice, Nathan, can you just remind me something? It was prior to Everland that I felt this feeling.
It was literally on your way into Everland.
What
if I remember
happened in
correctly.
Everland?
In Everland, so Everland was where you met the Harpers.
Oh yes,
in the tower.
Oh yes, it's the
Nathaniel Day-Lewis.
yes.
And I don't think you stayed in Everland too long. Actually, you stayed. I think you went to the inn. You went to the tower. You had a conversation with Crowan and the Moon Lord there. I can't remember her name. And then you got out first thing and left Everland, if I remember correctly.
And it was between Everland and Silvery Moon that we fought the demon and Dabov died.
That's correct, yeah.
Oh,
And you had this literally. I think it was almost as you were walking in through the gates.
Yeah.
It was before. It was as you were entering Everland itself.
Dabov's got a fucking owl. Can't that do some scouting?
True. Well, Dabov didn't see anything because he rolled a natural 1. Can I roll separately for Vin?
Yeah.
Forget
still
this
calls
called
it-
Vin. Can
it's
we
still
rename
called
it?
Vin Rizal.
Can't keep calling it Vin.
Yeah, it's a bit insensitive.
What's his name?
It's like if we picked up another gnome and started calling him Dabov after you died.
But it's the same. It's the same spirit.
Spell
It's
slot.
still Vin.
It's the same spell slot.
Just-
We can't just change his name because we don't like it.
I'm gonna call him Ian.
Okay, I want to start
call
calling
him something.
Krill Gary.
Fair.
This is going to get very confusing if we just start referencing everyone in different names. Because we got 5 carrots, 6, 7, 8 different characters. Oh, actually, the horses. We've got about 30. Oh, fuck it. Too much maths. But, okay. Yeah, you can roll again for the owl if you want. But what
Okay,
did the rest
called
of
the
you get?
owl.
The owl rolled an 8.
Owl Pacino.
Oh, that's so
Nice.
good.
It is quite good.
Greg?
Greg's not going to bother because he's stubborn and he thinks that there's nothing on the road, so he's just not paying
Okay.
any attention.
Krill?
4 plus, was it a perception? 7 overall.
Quinch?
5.
You all think that Dweezil's lying. You all think that he's just attention seeking.
Whoa, whoa,
Well,
whoa!
yeah, I
we
just,
think
I
that,
just
we
think
think
he's
that anyway,
mistaken.
don't we?
A bard, attention seeking? I think not.
Yeah, I don't think Quinch would ever think that. He could just think he's being daft.
Dweezil in reaction
Don't let
throws
him
his
be done.
cape.
None of you get a sense of what Dweezil's talking about.
I can't take Dweezil seriously with his missing eyebrows and bold patches.
Didn't shave my eyebrows off. I gave myself an edgy undercut.
To your eyebrows.
No, to my hair.
Do I need to make a chart of your hair growth from here on
You
out?
can track it if you want. I mean, I'm not intending on like keeping up the shaving.
Oh, okay.
No
we'll
one
see
ever
where
is,
we-
mate.
I like it. It's going to come to the end of it, and it's going to be like Cousin It just walking around with us.
Right. So yeah, you get that sense, but you it's only Dweezil at this point. No one else gets that. You carry on up the road towards Zymorphan Hall. As you start travelling, you start noticing the road itself hasn't changed, but certainly the landscape and some of the things that you see off-road, so to speak, have. You start seeing actually more signs here of giant kind, whether it be a large footprint, whether it be an occasional dropped weapon. Like, for example, at one point you come across a giant club that is got some dried blood on it and some matted hair and skin flesh on it. In fact, at one point, as you carry on travelling, you see you don't see any obvious signs of a giant, but what you do come across is half a dozen human corpses. Do you wish to investigate these? They're not like on the path itself. You could probably see them off to your right, 100 feet or so off the road, so you can see them in the distance. It's up to you whether you want to investigate them any further or whether you want just to
Do they
walk on
look
by.
Do they look like fresh, like recent, or have they been there for like a couple of days? Or
Depends on whether you
pungent?
want to look at them or not.
Right.
From here, they're just corpses. You can't see anything more than that.
Yeah, we'll look at them.
Well, no, wait. Let's stop. Let's get off our horses, and rather than just going straight to them, just 10 minutes. Let's just take 10 minutes to water the horses, tie them up, and while doing so, Dweezil's gonna sing you all a little song and throw out an inspiring leadership to everyone. So we've all got 10 temporary hit points.
I mean, we have got our sneaky member of the team back. We could go and get him to investigate sneakily.
I could.
Is this unusual?
Am I still taking the 10?
Yeah, take the 10.
Well, in case it could be like a trap or something like that by leaving like these bodies on the side of the road. So.
Yeah, I'm keen for Dweezil's idea. Get prepped, and then I don't know.
I think we can go. We can go and have a look.
Okay.
I don't really want to say. You see, I think Greg's right, but I don't really want to be sending Dab off. I know he's dead sneaky, and he's probably okay by himself, but we've only just got him back. I think.
What's the wildlife situation around here?
I mean, can we send Al Pacino out there, and could he relay back?
Because if he dies, it's of no consequence.
Well, to be fair, we could say the same about Krill. Dabov's just going to sneak and keep an eye out for traps and slowly make his way towards it whilst looking.
Then roll me an investigation for traps.
Investigation 22.
22. Yeah, you make your way, as I say, it's only about 100 foot away from the road. You make your way up. And as you get closer, as I say, you see what appears to be 6 corpses. There's 4 men and 2 women. What you see now that are you going up, subject to the traps, you're going right up to them?
Yeah, as long as I don't see any traps on the way, I'll just keep going until I'm pretty much there.
You reach them, and say you find all that out. Up close, you can see that these are very clearly dead. Without doing a medicine check, you couldn't necessarily ascertain what, but you can see that there's plenty of blood around, and these definitely appear to be dead. But without a medicine check, I won't say anything further than that. All of them, though, they all look like they're all quite broad, all quite muscular. They're all dressed in animal hide, all of which appears to be from elk or all of elk. Some of which have antlers on, some of which have like the head as like a sort of headpiece. But they're all of similarly dressed. But as far as you can tell, they're all just dead.
Is it kind of obvious dead though? Like, aka, could you tell if they've been stabbed or if they've been clubbed or?
It's obvious that they're dead, but the exact cause might not necessarily be without a medicine check.
Can I just quickly look over the bodies and see if I can see like any sign that there's like any traps on them if I were to move them?
Yeah, give me another investigation. At advantage because your last one was quite high.
That is 14 with
14.
advantage.
You sort of look around, maybe ducking under and sort of looking under the bodies and doing a few things here and there just to see if you can see any sort of anything like that. You can't see anything. You can't see any sort of nets or anything that's going to damage you or anything like that. This, as far as you can tell, this does appear to be just the remnants of a battle.
Just trying to imagine how a net would be hidden under a body in such a way that you could trigger.
Well, it might be underneath, so you might fall through.
Yeah, I will summon everyone else over. I'll give them the all clear to come over.
Krill falls into a net trap. No.
On the way over, Quinch, sort of just sensing that there could be some sort of confrontation ahead. He retrieves the blue ribbon from his satchel or sack, whatever,
His emergency blue ribbon.
and he ties it around his head like a bandana type thing.
Of course, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's what we all do. It just sort of blends into you, though, doesn't it? The blue on the blue.
Yeah. Unfortunately, aesthetically, it is a slightly different shade, and I wish it was a bit more pleasing on the eye. But it does clash, or rather, it doesn't clash enough. Is the problem? Quinch is aware of it and living with those decisions.
Just to reinforce that, Krill does turn to Quinch and say that does clash quite a bit with your skin tone. It's it looks quite stupid.
I know it's not ideal, but it's the situation we find ourselves in. I'm going to try and find a better colour.
Maybe take it off.
Perhaps if you could find a bedpan, you could soak it overnight, which might, just change the tone somewhat.
Listen, the thought's crossed his mind.
It's turned into an episode of Quinch Eye for the Straight Guy.
Pull the pillowcase over your head and just cut some holes in it.
No.
But make sure the pointy bit isn't poking up too much.
No, this is just a strip, mate.
Can.
It's just a strip. It's just a strip.
Okay. Right. So you've all made your way over?
Yeah, we'll meander over.
Okay, I was sort of flying, but yeah.
You all get there and you basically see what Dabov has seen and perhaps has started to relay to you as you approach. Do any of you want to do a medicine check?
Yeah, Greg wants to do a medicine check. He's gonna see how smart he is.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
Oh, lovely.
He's revived them.
You look amongst the bodies. No traps go off, first and foremost. You look amongst the bodies, and it's very clear that all of these bodies, all of these people that died here, they all have various wounds of blunt force trauma from what appears to be a large object. Some have got sort of chest caved in. Some have got broken necks. They all have that similar reason of cause of death.
Okay, so Greg's going to retell this story. He's going to be like, this clan right here, they had a fierce battle where they got clubbed around the head. I can only presume it was by giants. That's what it seems like to me anyway, but that is just this man's interpretation of the wounds on these bodies. Perhaps we should keep watch a bit more tight-knit in the evenings now. No dozing off. We are in giant country, it seems.
Okay. Anything else you want to do? Or do you want to get moving?
Have they got anything? I mean, if we're...
Okay. You look amongst the bodies, and you find very little interest. There's no money on any of them. You find some rations. You find a few great axes. Nothing of any particular interest. Nothing magical there that you can tell. They just look like bog standard great axes. A couple of bows, and collectively you find 25 arrows. So I'm not sure if any of you use bow and arrows.
Dabov does.
Yeah, Dabov
does.
Okay, so you can take those.
Any of these great axes any different to my great axe?
Mechanically speaking, from what you can tell, they just look like axes. They just look like great axes.
Aesthetically speaking,
they look a little. Where would Krill's axe have come from?
His dad.
No.
He only gives it to children he likes.
It's the chief's axe, so not a chief yet, but I will be. So fuck you.
From a stack of hay. That's where most people
normal axe. Probably just found it.
Okay.
Probably in someone's skull.
These look, very similar in terms of quality to what you have. The only difference is in terms of the aesthetics. These look a lot more rustically made, I think is the best way of putting it. These look like they've been put together by people living in the wild that perhaps don't have access to the same sort of resources that someone in a city would, for argument's sake. So they look sturdy. They look
I'm gonna take
of
one.
good quality. They just look they look a bit angrier and a bit rustic.
I'm gonna take one. I'm not gonna get rid of mine, but I'm gonna take one.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's one. It is just, though, mechanically speaking, it is just a great axe. There's nothing of any sort of, as I say,
Yeah,
anything extra
sort of.
about it.
I feel like it goes more with a vibe I'm going for.
Okay.
Um, just another question about these bodies. There's no like tracks, like
He's already
obviously
checked
some
the
things.
tracks.
No tracks.
Tracks.
Oh.
As like obviously they've been killed by something. Is there like any tracks going away from the bodies in a particular direction or anything like that?
Okay. Roll me a survival or investigation, whichever is better.
It's an 11 overall.
You can see that where they are and the immediate surrounding area, there's quite a lot of the ground is a little turfed up. You can sort of see where this skirmish has happened. That some, you know, it's not a nicely manicured lawn. Let's put it that way. There's a few turfs taken out of the ground and things like that. You can't, because of that, you find it difficult to sort of make any note of the tracks leading in or out of this particular area. So no, you don't find anything.
Dweezil.
Quinch.
Quinch puts his hand in his satchel and gathers a small pinch of marble dust. And Quinch just throws it over the bodies. Dweezil, could you just say a few kind words just to send these souls on their way?
Do you want me to? Do you think that these men? Are there any signs that these men would have been followers of any particular god, knowing what we might know about the religions of this part of the Sword Coast?
What would you know about this part of the Sword Coast? What would Dweezil know about the wilds? Let's put it that way.
Loads. No, everything probably.
Okay, roll. I'll tell you. Let's go for this. Roll me an intelligence, just a straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence, not religion or history.
Yeah, why not? Actually, let's go with religion.
Okay.
Didn't know it was going to be a religious thing.
What does a 10 gets me? Well, this is just the first question before I then decide whether or not I just do like secular humanist or whether, a few words talking about Tyr or Chalupa or whoever.
You don't know anything specific, but what you might be able to garner with that is looking at the outfits they're wearing. You would think that they certainly have some, perhaps some sort of religious background. You just don't know what that is. Whilst the outfits are not, it's not like they're wearing a uniform per se. You would know enough about the fact that people that wear a specific animal hide would probably be spiritual in some sense, because obviously it comes with some sort of form of armor benefits, but equally it's a little different to wearing just anything. The way that the outfits are being worn appears more than just being worn for armor.
Yeah, I'll say some words, Quinch. Let these men of the forest, these men of the wild, go back into the earth that gave them sustenance. Let them find in death respite from the violence that they found in life, and let them look on favourably on their descendants from wherever they go.
Okay, so as Dweezil is saying this, this hymn,
sowing some seeds, are you doing?
That Quinch recognises as a sort of hymn that he said before. He recognises it as the Ode of Respite. Quinch is sprinkling the marble dust. Does anything happen, Nate?
You win Storm King's Thunder. And that is the end of our podcast. Thank you very much for listening for the last few years.
That's all we had to do.
Yeah.
Find a body, a bowl of
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Dabov's just
No.
going to ask Dweezil, like, did you not fancy blessing the women then? Is it just the 4 men? bit rude of you, buddy.
When I said men, I meant it like when Neil Armstrong said it.
I don't know how we even know what they identified as, but
Just because they're called Daphne doesn't mean they're necessarily women, Luke.
That is a fair point. That I'm sure everyone listening to the podcast will understand that reference. That's really good.
Sorry, MJ. No, nothing happens other than these bodies are now covered in dust.
okay. I'm sorry for wasting 5 minutes then.
That's fine. You've wasted much longer.
Krill mounts Nathan.
Nathan reacts.
Positively?
Nathan allows you on top.
Lovely. What a treat.
Is Nathan a power bottom?
He's a power everything. You moving on?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. It's been a good podcast.
Before we get in trouble, yes.
Okay. You get back to your horses and you mount them one by one. Dabov mounts a third of his horse. But, right, setting back off onto the road. You travel for a few hours. And eventually you start seeing off in the distance a large structure.
Ooh, love structure.
Yeah, we love a structure. As you get closer and closer, you start to realise that this appears to be a large house, contained within some walls. Not just the house walls themselves, but there is a wall around this house itself. You eventually get close enough to it, and you can see that this building has a moat around it.
Is the moat full of water?
So, yeah, as you approach, the moat is filled with water. What you also see is that the drawbridge is up, so you can't easily access the building all through the walls. This side of the moat, though, there appears to be a short wooden pole dug into the ground, and tied to it is a rope, and you can see that the rope goes from the post straight towards the wall and seems to go through the wall. There appears to be a small hole for the rope to go through.
Okay, right.
On the post, there is a sign that says "Pull me."
Are there any kind of big logs around? I wonder if we can reenact the crossing of the river from Nightstone all those many moons ago.
Any logs? What did you do with logs?
No, we used like a flagpole to.
Oh, yeah.
After it donked Quinch on the head.
Yeah.
And then we realised that we had a flyer.
There are no prone logs, dead logs. There are a few trees around, but there's no. And just to give you a sense of everything, so the wall itself is about 30 foot up. I should say 30 foot high. That's just the wall itself is 30 foot in the air, but the top, it's just the top of it is 30 foot. I don't know where I'm going with that sentence, but yeah.
What
half of us can fly now, so I mean,
what's the what kind of height's the bottom of the wall?
0 foot.
Right. What about kind of midway point?
It's 17, which is really weird.
Yeah, it's not one to have any wall ambiguity, for the listeners. It's all about painting pictures in people's mind, isn't it?
It's made of stone. You've not yet been able to ascertain the width. The door, 20 foot, Stuart.
20-foot door within a 30-foot wall. So that gives us 10 foot.
Let's call it
10 foot of wall. So the bottom of that bit of wall is actually 20 feet up then, assuming that the wall doesn't come down behind the door. It's not like a false. Yeah.
That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If a wall is 30 foot and the door makes 20 foot of it.
How many listeners did we lose?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, should we just pull the stupid little rope then?
Is it a big rope?
It's a rope. It's a decently sized, for someone like Krill, it's a penis-sized rope.
So much ambiguity right there. Like, what are we speaking about?
What does that mean? I give it a tug, and then once I've done that, I go pull the rope.
Me.
Do you need a strength check?
No. You pull on the
It's a doorbell, isn't it?
You pull on the rope, and as you sort of tug towards you, you hear from the other side of the wall, the ringing of a bell.
Ooh.
Exactly right. It's a fantasy doorbell.
In reaction to hearing the doorbell ring, Krill just goes ham on the rope. Ding, 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 ding. He's enjoying himself.
Nice. So you've just heard the first bell that you've heard in days, and you've decided just to annoy everyone.
Last time we heard a bell, it was goblins, and we killed them.
Well, let's see what's on the other side of this.
It's all very
30-foot wall.
It's all very Nightstone-y, isn't it? A wall, a moat, a bell.
It's like we've never seen a fucking castle before.
We've always had a bell. There's been a continual sense of bell following us.
Hang on.
A bluebell. It's a flower.
Shame.
Right. So you hear this bell a number of times. Above the door, whilst you're waiting, whilst the bell is going, you actually notice above the door is like there's a keystone. Is that what it's called? But anyway, there's a large stone above the door, and on it is a family crest.
Ooh.
You can't make out from this distance how what it is exactly, but it appears to be like a shield, and there appears to be a weapon on it.
Would our geographic sense tell us where we are?
You don't know for certain yet, but you would think, given how long you've been travelling and given how long you expected to travel, this is probably Northern Hall. And in terms of time of day, it's about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, in the evening, sorry.
Okay.
So you think the amount of travelling you've done this is probably where you're intended to be.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I think this is that hall place we're looking for.
Are you still ringing the bell, Krill? Or you?
Yeah, sorry. Ding, ding. This is ding, ding place we're looking for. Ding, ding.
With that, I stop.
After nothing happens immediately. Oh, to the point that you start wondering if there's anyone at home. If this is an abandoned house, castle, whatever it be.
Do you think I should ring the bell some more?
I mean, I could just fly over and have a look, see what's going on over the wall, if you like.
You could, but that's also not what I asked.
Sorry, Chief. Carry on.
Ding, 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 ding.
After a few minutes, however, depending on whether you waited that long, after a few minutes, you eventually see in the doorway, in the trapdoor.
Trapdoor. Wow.
Not trapdoor.
Oh,
Drawbridge.
The word's gone. Drawbridge, there we go. You see a small slit appear. Something slided away about 5.5 foot, Stuart, just to keep you on foot watch. You can't see much, but you can see that then suddenly, like, a pair of eyes come up to this slit, and you hear a man's voice from the other side and says, "Hello there. What do you want?"
Thank you so much for listening to Dice and Desire. If you were
Hello.
Quinch, what are you doing here?
I thought I'd help out with the promo.
No, Quint, no, come on. You're just going to talk about random place names that don't exist.
No, I wasn't. I was going to talk to you about my adventures in Valaquanth, the very best that the Tendering Meadows has to offer.
God, if you have to be here, at least read this out.
Okay, what have we got here? Leave us a review on Apple or Podchaser.
Oh, yeah, it was fine. It's pronounced Apple, but that was fine. Now read this bit.
You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search Dyson Desire.
I'm actually very surprised that was all pronounced correctly. Thanks, Quinch. Thank you guys for listening. Do exactly as Quinch said and help us out in those various ways. And we look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon.
Are you looking for a D&D podcast with a dark side? Something more like Game of Thrones and less like Monty Python? Tale of the Manticore is part dark fantasy audio drama, part solo D&D RPG. There's no plot armor here. The dice make all the important decisions. Join me as I resurrect the excitement, wonder, and emotion of old school D&D. Made for a mature audience, Tale of the Manticore is both a fiction and a game. It's the story where chaos rolls.